Welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast, the pretty much #1 NFC North podcast. I'm your host, Matt. Joining me as always, our co-hosts, Ryan and Moran. And boys, I hope you're sitting down because I've got some shocking news to report. Aaron Rodgers has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I, for one, could not have seen this coming. Moran, are you stunned? Did your knees buckle?
If I was more stunned, you'd call me a stun gun. But yeah, we all saw this coming. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does things on his time. I guess it makes sense because their training camp opens Monday. But I mean, he's here, and I'm so glad I get to watch Aaron Rodgers.
Got to get in there and learn that Arthur Smith playbook. Ryan, how many wins are you projecting in your model for the Steelers upon this Aaron Rodgers news? Have you crunched the numbers on that?
I have, and by that I mean I'm thinking about it as we speak.
Perfect.
Mike Tomlin's not allowed. Yeah, he's not allowed to have a losing record. The gods have deemed it so. I'm gonna say 9-8 because that's the least wins they could have without having a losing record. I think I said that right. So
yeah,
9-8 is where I'm going. Yeah, nailed it, as always.
Why was that so hard?
I don't know. It took me a second to think about it. I thought it was like a double negative at first, and then I just kind of confused myself.
That's fair.
What do you think?
School's out in one day, and I was going to say school's out in one day, and Ryan's already losing his brain.
School's out,
He's not going to need it.
Yeah, I'm on summer vacation. I don't think in July ever.
And there's no need.
We know.
I haven't thought in years.
They won 10 games last year, and there was the quarterback situation was not very fluid, as you would say. I'm thinking they're going to win 11. I also think they will win the division. That's my bold prediction of the year.
Wow.
And I just think October 26th is about to be a movie. Aaron Rodgers has beat 31 of 32 teams. He hasn't beat us. He also hasn't played us, so
Don't you guys play on Sunday night this year?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Is that at Lambeau, Moran, or is that in Pittsburgh?
No, it's in Pittsburgh, and hopefully Rakan will be taking me. Shout out Rakan, my favorite brother.
Yes,
wow,
Rakan,
wow.
we love you here on the podcast.
I love him too, but that's so not the point right now.
Moran's trying to hashtag get Moran to Pittsburgh.
Ryan, I'm trying to get this to work, bro. Relax.
You don't have to put me down to lift yourself up. That's all I'm going to say.
Moran, here's a question. If Rakan does decide to take you to the Steelers-Packers game in Pittsburgh, would you be donning a Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey as I'm a Packers fan, but I am here to appreciate A-Rod sort of gesture? Where do you stand on that?
Matt, you've known me for almost 10 plus years. What do you think the answer to that question is?
I think it's no, but I was just curious.
It's a fuck no. He doesn't play for us, and I hope we tear his ACL 10/26.
No. Don't do that. There's a small part of you that still loves that man, and that will never die. It hides in the darkness just like A-Rod, but it's okay. We can talk about it.
Ryan, I can love that man all I want in my private setting of my home, but when the lights turn on, I'm good.
Just picture him around with an Aaron Rodgers voodoo doll, just having a great time.
Men loving other men. Shout out to Pride Month. Happy Pride Month, everyone, for those out there celebrating. On to the next.
That is wild.
On to the next agenda. The next segment here. Ryan, I know you released some exclusive content on YouTube, but some sad news to report out of Allen Park this week. All-World center Frank Ragnow has opted to hang him up. We have a question a little bit later when we dive into our mailbag about the effect this will have on the Lions, but I think now is actually a good time to bring that up. So this is from Shovik's Sports on Instagram. Shout out to Shovik. Shove it. How big of a loss is Ragnow? Who possibly takes his place? And most importantly, Ryan, how are you feeling?
I'll start with how I'm feeling because that's what I am struggling the most with. I'm still in shock a whole 2 or 3 days later. It hurts, man. This is something that's been talked about for years with Frank. It's always just been floating around. He's mulled retirement since like his sophomore year in the NFL, it seems like, and it finally happened. I do feel a little better when Campbell and Holmes spoke on it recently that it was never a contract issue and it's quote silly to bring that up.
Of course, they're going to say that.
Yes, of course they're going to say that, but I also believe maybe naively that they would just come out and say if it was a little bit.
Of course, you're going to say that.
All right, bro. Can I finish, please? Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
But I just hate the timing of it, bro. I hate that it couldn't have been before the draft and before free agents got scooped up. It would have been really cool to happen like, in May or perhaps April.
You think the Lions got money for free agents? You seen this payroll?
I mean, bro, we could have had a shot. Like, we could have rearranged some things.
I want to jump in here because Ryan does this thing where he talks out of both sides of his mouth very often.
What did I say?
But did he not just say that Frank Ragnow has been mulling this since sophomore year? I know you were being sarcastic with the sophomore year, but it's been known that this may come. So him saying it on June 3rd doesn't matter if he said it on April 1st. You guys didn't prep properly for something that was...
No, I don't think that's true. We drafted Tate Ratledge, who could easily slip into... Not easily, but he could be the one to replace Frank at center.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Sure.
So why does the timing matter if you guys did it correctly?
Because I, as a fan, feel better with more time. That's just me being selfish and being anxious about it. Because I don't like that we're just wrapping up OTAs and our all-pro center retires. Like, the offensive line is the strength of our team, and now it feels like a question mark. That's very tragic to me right now. Can I cope the way I want to cope, Moran? Is that okay?
Yeah,
or
no
can
problem.
I just have a few days?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to know why Frank is on his rag now. That's all.
Time heals all wounds.
More like Rag was, am I right?
Rag now, rag never. Frank, we wish you the best in retirement. We will miss you. Another piece of news, not exactly stacking up for the year of Jared Goff that everyone is hoping for. We lose our play caller. I mean the Lions, and the proverbial we, Jared Goff, obviously, I don't care.
It's okay, man. You can come on over.
We lose the guy in our ear. We lose the guy in front of us who's, going. And all-pro wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has not been participating in the off-season practices after undergoing off-season knee surgery. He anticipates being ready for training camp in late July. Ryan, how worried are we about Amon-Ra? Scale of 1 to 10.
I thought his offseason was going well until he took an arrow to the knee. So, does anybody get that joke? No? None of you guys? Come on. All right.
Ryan, you literally jumped to the mic to say, does anyone get that joke?
Because I'm reading your faces. I didn't see it.
Well, you
do you get it?
No.
All right. So I was right. All right.
Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments if you understand Ryan's joke and if you're a nerd like him.
Let me know. But for real, this is so not something to worry about. Like, Amon-Ra was battling injuries last year too, as was the rest of our whole freaking team. He'll be fine. I'm so not worried about this, but it's, the hits keep on coming if you're a Lions fan. Like, we just can't get away from this. So I would like just a week with nothing to report. That would be beautiful.
Week of slow news if you're out there. Ryan's interested. All right, boys. I think we've covered another, slower time in the NFL calendar, but let's get to our mailbag if you guys got nothing else going on. We really appreciate everyone who sent along a question, whether it was on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, the Everything app. You guys sent along some great questions, so we're stoked to get into these. I'll kind of just go through and we'll steer, and, you guys stop me if you want to discuss anything further. Our first one is from Instagram. It's from Answer the Call. How many teams from the NFC North make the playoffs / who's left out? Moran, let's start with you. Who is making the playoffs and who is getting left out?
The Packers are making the playoffs. And the Bears are making the playoffs. I think that the Lions are going to blow this year.
Oh, man.
And I can't wait until Dan Campbell, who is apparently the best offensive coordinator in the league, and Dan Campbell can play receiver because, he can do everything. So I think the Lions are going to have a fall off. Yeah, but no, I really do think this offensive line for the Lions is a major concern, and Lions fans don't want to talk about it because somehow you go from having the best offensive line to now Frank Ragnow. We got Tate Ratledge, and Frank Ragnow leaving is not a big deal. So yeah, that's I think two. It's going to be Packers and Bears.
And Bears. Ryan, let's go to you.
I just want to clarify. I want to clarify before I give my answer. Did anyone say losing Frank's not a big deal? I'm just wondering.
It's not that. It's just the fact that we only had a 2-minute discussion about Frank Ragnow. I feel like you're not taking him serious that he's gone.
Hey, shout out to the YouTube exclusive content where I recorded a 7-minute video on it. I mean,
that's right. I don't want Brian to have to give away all the goods here when we got exclusive out there.
Let me just do the professional thing. If you'd like the full Frank Ragnow reaction, please feel free to head over to Honolulu Cheese Podcast on YouTube.
And I'm very thankful that you did the reaction. It was 7 minutes long, but I feel like for a loss like that, it was 23 minutes too short. But hey, here we are.
I could have gone on further, but I just didn't want to cry on camera. It would have been embarrassing.
I'm not sure anybody's watching a 23 to 30 minute Frank Ragnow video. To be fair, I think time wise you're in the sweet spot there, Ryan.
I'm giving Ryan shit for sure, but I do honestly think that the fact that the Lions have the craziest road schedule to start the season, and the fact that they are losing so many people on the offensive line, and the fact that they have Lieutenant Dan on the defensive line and Ali McNeil not back yet, I think there's a lot left to be desired with the trenches.
All right, so I'm going to just sidetrack for a second. I got a reaction to the Lieutenant Dan thing in my group chat. Shout out to Mogs, Matt, and Miguel. Mogs pointed out that Lieutenant Dan never runs in the movie.
He ain't got no legs.
In a wheelchair. Thank you. He ain't got no legs. So what do you mean he runs like Lieutenant Dan?
Okay, so let me clarify for Mogs. The fact
that's what makes it funny.
Dan, exactly, and the fact that Lieutenant Dan doesn't run and Aiden can't run, it's the same thing. I ain't got no legs.
All right. Well, he has looked great at OTAs, by the way.
Yeah,
just
great.
saying.
Everyone looks good in shorts. Ask Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, and what's his name? JJ McCarthy is the best OTA quarterback we've ever seen. Shout out to the Vikings.
Matt, have you been seeing the stats of JJ McCarthy?
They're tracking his OTA.
I've been doing some work travel the last few days, as people may have seen on Instagram. I was in beautiful Kansas City, so been a little buried.
You've saved yourself because people actually are talking about JJ McCarthy setting the record for touchdown passes in OTAs. And yes, I'm not joking.
Unironically, yes. It's crazy.
Shout out to him. He's looking good out there. I didn't even know JJ could throw. I saw him for 3 years in Michigan. I never saw him throw a pass. It's good for him. All right.
To answer the question, Ryan? Answer the call, how many teams from the NFC North make the playoffs? I'm also going to say 2. I'm going to give respect where it's due, and I'm going to be boring. It's going to be the Lions and the Packers. I think the Bears will come closer, but I think that there's going to be some first-year kinks to work out. And the Vikings, although they're the team that scares me the most, like I said in that one video we did, I think they're also the team that can, one thing goes wrong and they just fall apart. So I'm going to pick the Lions and the Packers.
I like it. I was going to say Lions and Packers, but let's get spicy. I'm with Moran. Let's go Bears and Packers. Lions regress a little. Bears win 10 games. Lions win 9. Bears get in as a wild card. Lions get left at home, and the Packers with 11 wins win the division, only for the Bears to bypass them on the way to Caleb's first Super Bowl.
Respect,
Matt, if that happens, can we just go to a restaurant where we're eating wings and just being recorded and just being real sloppy and talking shit?
Brother, I'll
kind of
go
what
do
we
that
do
with
here
you
without
even
the
if we're
wings.
wrong. Yeah, brother, I'll go
That's
do
fair.
that with you even if we're wrong.
That's fair.
Whatever we got to do.
That's
The disrespect is crazy. Wow.
well,
Okay.
I will say I do want to put this out there. If JJ McCarthy has, I'm not going to say a Jaden Daniels year, but if he's anywhere near it, Minnesota can easily make the Super Bowl.
I agree with you.
100%.
I
Absolutely.
fully agree with that. That's why they scare me, bro. Because if
that's
he's
why
even
it's-
remotely good, they're scary.
Man, the NFC North is so weird because every team, and this is no disrespect, can be really good or really bad.
I
It's
disagree
wild.
with that. I don't think. Man, I'm gonna like hate myself for saying this. Like, I can't see a world in where the Lions are really bad. Like, can I see us win like 8 games? Yeah, maybe if things
That-
go like
Ryan,
catastrophically.
Ryan, that would be really bad
That's
after
not
you guys
really
won
bad
15.
though. That's just a different definition. I
Ryan's
think really
already-
bad is like 5-12.
I think the
Like
way
Bears.
to put it that makes more sense is like if I had a crystal ball and I showed you the standings at the end of the season, there's really no order I could put them in that would like shock you. Like
Right.
Yes, there is.
the Packers
there's not.
finished third. Like it went like Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions would be surprising.
That would shock
But you'd
me.
be like,
Okay, that's what
all
I was
right.
going to say.
Yeah,
That's what I was
right.
going to say.
But like,
I mean, you could wrap your head
you know
around
what I
it.
mean? Exactly.
Yeah, no, I get
exactly.
it. I get it. I think the Bears finishing first would actually shock me, though. I think I'd be like, well, screw this, I'm out.
Bears
I'd be
finishing first would really upset me.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty surprised, but I'd be excited about it. All right. Question 2 is also from IG. It comes from @thepitchgrid. Must be a baseball fan. Who is the best
Baseball and
QB?
Or a singer.
That's true.
Oh.
High pitch.
Or a big math guy.
Yeah.
Shouts out. Who is the best QB in Lions history? With the caveat, you can't say Jared Goff. Well, good news that the pitch grid, it's not Jared Goff. It's Matt Stafford easily. So there you go. Ryan, who's the best quarterback in Lions history? You can't say Goff.
So I love the guys at the pitch grid. Also, a lot of these, I'm just going to say real quick, a lot of these questions from the mailbag came from fellow sports podcasters, which I love. I think it's awesome that we're all connecting in this community. So shout out to all of them.
Awesome.
I also don't think it's Goff, and I'm not going to be the Lions fan who tries to get Bobby Lane in there and talk about his awesomeness, even though he did win championships. It's Matt Stafford. Let's be real. By far the most talented quarterback in Lions history. He's got the numbers to back it up. He just didn't have the wins because of coaching and management malpractice. So, what do you think, Mito?
So it's weird because when people talk about top QBs, they always talk about wins, and then somehow Stafford is still blown with nothing to show for it. But I get what you're saying, because if Stafford was on the Lions team last year, you guys win the Super Bowl because Goff's a statue. So, yeah.
That's I disagree, but we can continue. That's a discussion for a different day.
That's fine.
That'd be for our next mailbag.
There you go.
All right. Our next question from Instagram. It is from Ali T. Dowd. Shout out Ali. Ali?
wait, Mito, you want to read his name instead?
It's Ali T. Dawood.
Ah, nice to hear from you, Ali. Don't let the white guy read the names. That's how we do it in Kansas City.
I was actually waiting for Matt to read the names so bad.
Dude.
We left him out on an island. We should have done
Dying
that.
to hear him say it.
We'll be fine. Get out of here, Ali. We know you're a listener. We love you, brother. Sorry for butchering your name. You're the man. All right, we're gonna have to send this one just to Ryan. Why do the Lions get so many All-Pro players to retire in their prime, Ryan? I assume this is referring to Frank Ragnow, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders, Allen Robinson. We'd love to hear you.
Is he retired officially?
No.
Allen
Just
Robinson
unemployed.
retired He's been retired for 3 years, but he's been on the field.
He retired when he got drafted.
There you go. So the problem I have with this question, although it is hilarious in nature and I can appreciate the humor in it, Barry and Calvin, who are the main players in this question posed by Ali, yes, they were all pro players who retired because of the Lions' misdoings. Frank
Wait,
Ragnow
wait.
is
Stop there.
what?
What are the misdoings?
Losing.
So why sign your contract?
Oh my God, we're gonna do this again, bro.
I'm thinking because of the money. It's my
That's
guess.
fair,
Would be the money.
That's fair, but if you're okay to re-sign your contract and extend yourself for 5 years, obviously the losing didn't stop you from doing that. So does losing really matter to you?
Hang on, that's a very like outside looking in thing to say though, because when Calvin signed the contract, yeah, he's in his prime at the top of his game.
Mm-hmm.
As the years gone on, we know that Calvin was still awesome, but getting hurt all the time. He was taking pain medication like they were M&Ms. He was smoking a bunch of weed to get rid of the pain. Like his body was giving up on him, and the losing wasn't worth it. So yeah, he left early. I'm not happy with the decision he made, but I can understand it, just like Barry. But Ragnow, like my point, like was that it's just not the same. Like Ragnow got drafted by a really like he got drafted by a shitty organization, but he was like the best pick they made, him and Hawkinson, and he saw his way through it. We started winning recently. We're in our Super Bowl window right now, and he still decided to hang it up. Like his body literally just couldn't do it anymore. So it's just not the same thing.
I'm with you. Hopefully we don't get any more all pros retiring in their prime, because goddamn do I love me some Brian Branch. Yeah, our next question is from Reddit. I didn't even know we had a Reddit. Shout out to us. This is from
by the way, before we get to the question, we do have a Reddit. I like go on there and just leave comments on, the Lions subreddit and stuff a lot. Rye Smokey, who we're about to read his question, we've been chatting on Reddit forever. So if you're just looking to chat fall once in a while, hit us up on Reddit at Honolulu Cheese. We'd love to talk to you.
Or Ryan would. I don't even know how to do Reddit, so Ryan will talk to you.
I'll teach you about Reddit, and we'll work out.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. All right, Rye Smokey. Good name.
There you go.
If you could have dinner and a conversation with anyone associated with your organization, he gives an example: past or present player, GM, owner, etc. Who would it be, and what would you want to talk about? This is an in-depth question, right? Awesome question. Moran, I want to start with you for this one. Who from the Packers organization? I think I know where you're going, but I want to know.
Well, it wouldn't be the owner, because I don't like eating by myself. So, couldn't do that one.
Good one, Renault.
Thanks, man. But I would... So the obvious choice would be Vince Lombardi, but also there's a pretty significant age gap between us. So I don't know if that would be really real fun. Someone that I think would be fun to talk about football with and life about would be Reggie White. Very religious man. I think it would do good for me. I have a family now, and just probably listening to him, maybe talk some sense into me, since everyone thinks I'm senseless most of the time. I think it would be a good time.
Ryan, you got somebody in mind?
Honestly, there's an easy pick for the Lions too with Dan Campbell. I mean, get him on the mic or in any conversation, dude's just hella entertaining. But I just don't want to be boring. I'm actually going to go with Sheila Ford Hamp. I respect this lady so much for looking at just watching bad ownership her entire life with her family and being able to turn it around. And I know, like, not every little thing is because of Sheila, but she's at the top and she gets the credit for it. She picked Brad Holmes. She picked Dan Campbell. Like, I love that lady. And I would love to hear just her perspective on how that all got turned around. I think that'd be awesome.
Smooches for Sheila. Love that. I'm going to go with, and credit to Moran, he gave me this suggestion. I wasn't really thinking this far outside the box, but I'm going to go with Papa Bear, George Halas. Probably just want to talk to him about when he founded the NFL and what it used to look like. And it'd be cool if I could get like talk to like a prime George Halas, but he had like a lens of like where the league has gone to be able to ask him like how the league has evolved, what he thinks of the direction the league has gone, how much it's grown from when he founded it, like back in the 20s. So that would be really cool. My backup choice would be Kyle Orton because that dude fucking parties, and him and I could just rip beers, and it'd be awesome. I think we'd have a blast. So our next one is it was actually from Rye Smokey again. This was his second question. It says for Miro, but we're gonna get an answer here from everybody. Who is your all-time favorite wrestler and why? Moran?
Can I do a two-part?
Brother, this is your
Do
show.
whatever you want.
Okay.
We can sit here and talk wrestling for the rest of the show if we want to. Wouldn't be great for the
I'd be
ratings.
down.
We'll do it.
So, hailing from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh my God, Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Bro, can I tell you? I don't know when he got big. Moran must have been like 14 or something at the time, making me 13. Moran would just walk around the house saying, Mr. Kennedy! Like
You're
at
not
least
a
13
wrestling
times a
fan
day.
if you don't do that.
Yeah, but Ryan, you missed the best part. I would say it, and then I would do like a little twirl, and I'd be like, Kennedy.
That is a strong pick.
It's Mr. Kennedy, and then like my all-time favorite wrestler of all time is Bray Wyatt. I've watched his documentary.
Bray's the man.
Watched his documentary like 6 times. I have cried 6 times, and it legit sucks that he's gone.
For sure. Gone too soon. Wyndham Rotunda. We'll miss you, brother. Guy was the man. Ryan, your all-time favorite wrestler? I know you're not as big of a wrestling fan as Miro and myself.
No, you go ahead. You have the honors because you watch more than I do. Way more. Way more.
Oh, mine is Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper. He's the best. Guy never had a bad match his whole career. He was retired for 5 years. He came back, in his first match back, he literally had my favorite match, top 2 favorite match of all time against Triple H at SummerSlam 2002. Shawn Michaels, hands down, he's the best.
I can see that actually. That totally goes with your personality. That fits perfectly. Mito knows mine. It's The Undertaker. Taker's been my guy forever, back in like prime wrestling days. I think I love him so much, not just for like his moves or whatever, but just like the theatrics that surround him when he comes out. Like when 2 guys are wrestling in the ring and it just goes pitch black and then it comes back to light and Undertaker's just standing there. That's like the coolest thing ever to me. So I always love that, and Taker's my guy.
The man's got some aura. Thank you for the questions, Rye Smokey.
Yeah, great question.
I want to jump in real quick, and obviously this isn't a wrestling podcast, but I just want to put this on record that I hate how out there Undertaker is now. It bothers the shit out of me. And I know you guys are going to think I'm an asshole, but it like ruins my persona of him because he's supposed to be like deep and secretive and this and that.
Hiding in the woods.
Correct. And now this guy's doing like comedy shows. Like, bro, go back hiding and come back and scare me in a year or 2, please.
He's a very personable guy though, man. Like it's kind of but he's an actor, right?
I never expected him to be like out and about when he retired.
You wanted him to do like the Joe Pesci, like show us your greatness and then just disappear.
Correct. Mm-hmm. That's what Shohei's going to do. You're probably never going to hear from Shohei Ohtani ever again.
You never know.
Therein lies the genius of The Undertaker, Moran. Legit. It's in character for so long that seeing him out of character as a human actually startled you.
It doesn't feel
Shout
right.
out to Taker. Yep. Shout out to Taker.
Shout out to Rice Mookie, by the way, real quick, Matt. Sorry. Shout out to Rice Mookie, who's been a fan since day one. That guy has been with us since the get-go, so we love you.
Shout out to you, Rice Mookie. You're my second favorite wrestler.
Ryan, is that who we met in Green Bay?
No. That's Matto. Matto's coming up. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Matto. All right, let's just go to Matto. Because what a segue. Got to go down here a little bit on the list. What is your favorite IRL, I believe for the kids out there, that's in real life, moment or play with your NFC North squad. He notes it's okay if you choose meeting me before curb stopping the pack at, ready for this one, Lamblow. That's a 10 out of 10. In the monsoon. Also, it's okay if that's not your favorite memory. So, Moran, your favorite Packers memory you were live in person for is what?
So I got two. A-Rod to Randall Cobb in Chicago.
Oh,
Matt,
God,
you know all about that?
I was there for that too. Yeah. Fuck.
Yep. And then the Hail Mary to Richard Rodgers.
Richard, that was Thursday Night Football.
Yes, I was there just watching people walk up the ramp and me looking at them and being like, does the clock say 0 or am I tripping? And the guy's like, oh, you're such an idiot. This is why Packers fans are idiots and blah, blah, blah. And I like laser beamed that guy that said that to me. And right when Richard Rodgers scored, I probably ran a 4-3 up those stairs and found that man. And I'm like, what'd you say, boss? And just smirked. Great times.
Quick smirk. Ryan, your favorite Lions moment you were there live for? Give it to us.
This one is extremely easy. I was there when the Lions defeated the Rams for our first playoff win since I was a little tiny baby at 1 year old. So, took the wife. We sat in the last row of the stadium for about $5,000, and we sat behind some rowdy college kids and some old Rams fans that were just getting it the entire time. It was just an awesome night. It was a great night, and for us to pull it out right at the end, it was a top 5 moment of life, honestly. Like, there's kids being born, wedding, all that stuff, and then that's my favorite sports memory of all time. So it's right up there.
Hell yeah. I think I actually talked about my favorite moment when I was a guest on the pod before I was full-time. And I talked about the Bears-Niners Sunday Night Football comeback, week 2 in San Francisco. I forgot the year. I think it was like 2011 or 2012. But Jay Cutler to Brandon Marshall for 3 touchdowns to come back and beat the Niners on Sunday Night Football at the inaugural game at Levi Stadium. Left there with my boys. Shout out to Zach, Gary, Quan, Bon, Timmy. Left that day with our heads high. So we had a blast, and we thought going in we had no shot. So Bears surprised us on that one. Thanks again to the Cheese and Bear Pod. Definitely check those guys out if you are looking for some additional NFC North content. Their question is, who will lead the Packers in receiving yards and receptions? You could, if you wanted, pick different names for each. Moran, this feels like a good question for you to handle first. Who's leading the Packers in receiving yards and receptions?
Yeah, Moran.
Jaden Reed.
For both?
Will be, yes. And I think we're going to have 3 receivers over 800 yards, if not 4.
What?
Anybody getting to that elusive 1,000?
Yeah, is it ever going to happen?
I mean, honestly, I it's going to happen this year. But if it doesn't mean we had a bad year at receiver. Because there's so many weapons. Our offense is going to be very fun this year. But to answer your question, it's Jaden Reed, receptions. He's playing basically on a contract year. They all are technically, but it could also be Romeo, but I don't know if we're going to keep Romeo all year. I really don't. So it's going to be fun to see.
Ryan, you have any thoughts on that?
I think Matthew Golden has a good chance to lead the team in yardage. I think he's far and away the most talented Green Bay receiver. I don't see him leading in touchdowns, though. Like, wide receiver is a pretty easy transition from college to the NFL, probably the easiest position there is. So that's why I think he'll be effective in the yardage department. And he's fast, bro. He's really good. Like, I'm not happy that the Packers got him. But for touchdowns, I think that could be more like, I don't even know, man. Just anyone else. But it's just hard for a rookie to score that much. So
maybe a Tucker Kraft. I know touchdowns wasn't in the question,
yeah,
but you went
sure.
there. I like that. I'm with Moran.
Sure.
I'm a big Jaden Reed guy. I think he's a stud. Does a lot of stuff near the line of scrimmage. Catches a lot of short stuff. A lot of yak. So I'll go with Jaden Reed for both. I think he's due for a big year. Our next question, I believe this might be from Cheese and Bear Pot as well. It says blank will be the reason the Bears make the playoffs this year. I mean, Caleb Williams is the easy answer. So if we were taking Caleb out of it, two names that come to mind for me would be Dio Odengbo. If your big free agent signing plays well opposite Montez Sweat, I think that would be huge for the pass rush. And then shout out to Joe Tooney. If Joe Tooney stays healthy for the whole year, I feel like the line is much improved. So those are the guys I think will have the most impact. You guys have any thoughts on main drivers to get the Bears to the postseason? We'll take Caleb out of it because, Caleb plays good. That's obviously massive. Ryan?
Easy for me. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Moran,
ahead,
who we thinking, Miro?
Ben Johnson.
Ooh, good answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be my answer too, right? Like, he's the guy you've been waiting for. Everyone's all excited. I see that he's got offensive linemen receiving the ball in OTAs. Shout out to Panay Sewell.
now Ryan.
Flashback.
Now Ryan hates that. Now Ryan's gonna hate that.
Oh, stop.
He's gonna hate it. I
You know
can't
what?
wait.
You know what? We'll see if it works, but it won't be on us. I promise you that.
Oh, okay.
That
Man, I
is
hate
not going to
Lions
happen.
fans, bro. I love my brother, but I hate Lions fans.
I say, bro. I just said that's what you brought him there for.
Just the way you said it, bro. Like it was so condescending.
You're giving me a lot of like not love on today's episode.
No, I love you to death, always and forever. But like,
all right,
Jesus, man.
I love you too. Yeah, Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Sorry,
oh, that's all right. No apologies needed. Question 3: who will have more interceptions? DJ Reed, Terrion Arnold, Kirby Joseph, or Brian Branch? Ryan? Most
I don't know,
picks
man.
on the Lions.
This is such a hard question because Kirby was just such a ball hawk last year, like leading the league, and he just had such an awesome year. But I think that Brian Branch is like, he's just my favorite defensive player we have, man. I just can't like not pick him. And I think he's far and away outside of Hutch, the best player on our defense. Like, I don't think that's particularly close. Shout out to DJ Reed, though. I know he's really good, too. But I'll pick Brian Branch just because I love him so much.
I'm with Ryan on Brian Branch as well. I do think the DJ Reed signing could be good for him and Terrion Arnold. But I'll go Brian Branch. He's a ball hawk. I like the way he plays. What do you think, Miro?
I would just say if I was a Lions fan, I would hope it's not a corner because a corner shouldn't see that many balls if you're covering correctly. So it's probably going to be one of the safeties.
Honestly, and this is where like Kelvin Shepard deserves to be mentioned because like Jeremy Reisman said last week, shout out to Jeremy. Our defense is going to look very similar. Like him and Aaron Glenn are cut from the same cloth. So I think that our safeties are kind of just like built to, make those quick cuts and we just have a great safety duo. And it's not like our corners get a lot of picks in our defense, whether that's because of their skill historically. We can go there if you want, but I think it's going to be more of the same with the safeties getting the majority of those for sure.
Yeah, I would just say Kirby just off history, and you can't get picks when you're holding. So
right. Kirby Joseph, the guy gets his hands on a lot of balls. It's a good thing. Our next question is from IG. It's from H. Here's another good one. You guys ready? H. Charada 19. I think you guys know this fella. Name sounds familiar. Haas? Is that Haas?
No, that's Hussein Sharara.
Hussein in the membrane.
Why'd you say it like horchata, like you had a Mexican restaurant?
I don't know. I was worried. I didn't want to screw it up like the last one.
But you made it worse.
Well, now we know. For next time, I shouldn't do that. Hussein's question is, who do you predict will finish last in the NFC North? And why will it be the Green Bay Packers? So Hussein thinks it's going to be Green Bay. Ryan, who finishes last in the NFC North?
Oh, man. It's such a hard question. I don't know. Come back to me, please. I got to think on it a little bit more.
Moran?
So let me give you the backdrop of this human being. Okay? Hussein, a.k.a. C, what we call him because he's a very average friend.
That's an incredible nickname.
This man will criticize everything about the Packers. Literally everything. If they wear the wrong color socks, this man will say something. And the crazy thing about it, like coming from this guy, Matt, you don't know who he is. You'd probably think he's a Chiefs fan and they've won a lot. They've won Super Bowls, this, that. No, he's a fucking Dolphins fan and they haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. Okay? So
shout out to you, Hussein. The Dolphins are due.
Yeah, do. You're right. So the team finishing last is going to be the Vikings, but like I said earlier, if JJ plays well, they can win the division. I think it's going to be basically, gold or bust. So I'm going to go with the bust because just history, usually a rookie plays poorly or average, whatever. But
man, our words are taking a hit. Okay.
I'm with you, Moran. I just think rookie quarterback or, second year quarterback who hasn't played football for a year. The Vikings are the easy pick. Could they be better? Of course. It just seems like smart money would be on the Vikings to go, 7-10 and finish in last place. Ryan, what do you think?
I can't get behind you guys on this because the Vikings are not going to go from 14 wins to last place because they went from Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy. I fully recognize that Sam Darnold had a fantastic year.
Top 4 QB in the NFC.
In a very weak class for conference quarterbacks, which we're going to get to later, actually. But, I don't think JJ's going to be that bad. Unless he's going to be like Jamarcus Russell, just I can't play bad. There's no way they go from 14 wins to 6. They're still a great roster with a great head coach. I just don't see them being terrible.
I would just make the argument they overachieved last year with Sam Darnold. They do have a great roster.
Absolutely.
They made some improvements. They beefed up their interior. I don't know. I just didn't want to say the Bears because obviously I'm a Bears fan. So, just got to say the Vikings.
Given I didn't even answer the question, the Bears would be my answer. Just throwing that out there, but it's going to be tough.
What's crazy, though, is we're worried about a second-year quarterback that has never started, but there's a second-year player in the division that's made one start, and he's going to replace an all-pro center, apparently. So,
it's so different, though. You're talking about a quarterback versus an offensive lineman.
Crazy how fan bases work,
Quarterback's
it might not
probably
be
a little more important.
Yeah, it's going to be Glasgow most likely anyway, who's a vet. So it's not that big of a deal.
I was talking about Mahogany because apparently he already has a gold jacket.
Oh, Mahogany played very well last season, though. Shout out to Christian.
Yeah, in one game.
Yeah, well.
I don't even know who that is, but Mahogany. It's a rich.
But you know who the Lions do have. Who the Lions do have, getting back to this, is Hank Fraley. Hank Fraley's the best offensive line coach in the league, and it's not even.
He's not.
It's not even close.
He's not. No, he's not. But he's really good. Jeff Stoutland from the Eagles. Jeff Stoutland from the Eagles is the best offensive line coach in football.
All right. Look,
to be fair, Ryan, can you name 4 offensive line coaches to say who's the best? Stop doing that.
Well, I mean, he's not up there. He's not been successful his entire time here.
He's been successful because you know his name.
He is really good. I'm not here to take away from Hank Fraley. I just
he should have been an offensive coordinator. He turned down the job.
He didn't want to come to the Bears, loser. Dead to us. Sorry, Frank.
That's why Matt's salty, huh?
No, but Jeff Stoutland. I mean, the Eagles just churn out bodies. Shout out to both. This one is from 3 Guys, 6 Balls, NFL podcast on IG. Sounds like everybody's got the correct amount of balls out there, so that's good. Which NFC team outside of the North do you feel is the biggest threat to your team? Could take this a number of ways. The biggest threat to them reaching the Super Bowl, the biggest threat. Take it however you want, Ryan. What do you think? Who's the biggest non-NFC North threat to your beloved Lions?
Um, Man, it would be so easy to just say Eagles, but I think that's kind of lame. I'm gonna go out of the box a little bit and say the Rams. I think the Rams are deeper than people think. What are you shaking your head at over there?
Nothing. I'm waiting until you finish.
All right. I mean, I do think they have one of the best quarterbacks in the conference still, and they still have a great head coach. Like, as you can tell, I pay a lot of respect to good quarterbacks and coaches. I think that's where it all starts and everything follows. And they made really good picks on defense last year, and like they just have a lot of good things going for them. So I'm gonna say the Rams.
Miro, what are we thinking? Biggest non-NFC North Packers threat?
I mean, it'd be the Eagles. They won the Super Bowl and they beat us. And apparently this Commanders-Lions game didn't happen. But hey, who am I?
I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen. We're a much different team now than we were when we played them.
Much
I'm
worse.
actually,
I can't wait.
Great segue. I'm actually going to pick the Commanders as the biggest threat to the Bears. Not because I think they're in our way, but I just feel like the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels discourse is going to be strong for at least the next few years. I'd like Caleb to be better than Jaden Daniels when it's all said and done. We'll see if that happens. Granted, the Bears are still working up to their Super Bowl window. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking at right now. So shout out to Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Real quick, Matt, just to respond to Mito, the Lions play both the Rams and the Commanders on the road this year. So we're going to see what that test is like. And
No, I know. I'm just, you guys have had the Rams number. So for you to say that was kind of like, oh, the Commanders game didn't happen to me. That's why I took it that way.
No. And I'm not saying that, and we have beaten them, yes, but I still think that they're a large threat. And can I throw an honorable mention out there to the 49ers, who everyone's just kind of like forgetting about? Like, they're still a very talented team who could just like rise from the ashes next year and be a total threat. Like, they're 2 years removed from being a serious, or 1 year removed from being a serious contender.
If you made me put money right now on a non-Eagles NFC champion bet, my money would be on the 49ers.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, if I couldn't pick the Eagles, that's who I would pick.
And that team's literally crazy because they can be a Super Bowl participant or they can have a top 10 pick.
Right.
Which is nuts.
If you ain't first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. Yeah. All right. Next is from Instagram at _extra_B_. A lot of underscores there, B. Maybe that's where the extra comes in. Well, so it's a two-parter, so we'll start with part one. Which playoff teams from last season are most likely to miss the playoffs this year? What do you guys think? The team that made the playoffs last year that is least likely to repeat this year or in the most danger of missing the playoffs?
Go ahead, Mito.
I'll stick with it. I think it's Minnesota. Their
Vikings?
Team is...
They're on the list for sure.
They're, I don't know, man. I think the Vikings are going to be bad this year. I really don't know why. And I don't know. I can't explain it. But I think I know where you guys are going with this based on the earlier conversation, but I'll let you guys have at it. But mine is the Minnesota Vikings.
Ryan, what are we thinking?
I'm going to go with... Man, this is a tough question. I'm going to say Pittsburgh. I don't think they were playoff caliber last year, and I think the A-Rod saga can just go so horribly wrong that although they might still be relevant, that they missed the playoffs. Like, the Bengals missing the playoffs last year was just so... It just shouldn't have happened. Like, the Bengals are so much better than they were last year, and I just think them and the Ravens are going to run that division and leave the Steelers and Browns in the dust. So I would pick Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. I'm going to get a little spicy with mine. I was thinking about going Broncos. That seemed kind of easy. They play in a hard division, but I do kind of like Bo Nick. Sean Payton's a good coach. I'm actually going to pick the Texans. I think The Texans were worse last year than they were the year before. We all know my feelings about Trevor Lawrence in year 6 with Liam Cohen. I think the Jaguars are better than the Texans. And the AFC South kind of stinks. So I don't think we're getting 2 teams out of the AFC South. So give me the Jags making the playoffs and the Texans staying home because their O-line is Garbaggio's.
Wait. Stop. Do you think the Jaguars right now are a better team than Houston?
Yeah, I do.
Matt,
the hesitation was loud. Did you
Matt.
hear that, Mito?
It's not even that. Like, Matt's really trying to push this agenda, and he just wants to bring it up every week.
Bro,
it's not cute anymore,
Did you
Matt.
grow
Cut it
up with
out.
Trevor? Did you, live across the street? What's going on here?
Is his real name Trevor Young? What's going on?
No,
Long-lost cousin? What's happening?
I just think the Texans, they were in a bad division last year. Their defense is really good. Obviously, they have Danielle Hunter. They have Will Anderson. They just paid Derek Stingley. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I just think their offense is going to regress. Like, Joe Mixon's getting up there. I love Nico Collins, but he's not always on the field. I love Stroud. I think he's awesome, but another new offensive coordinator. He was with Slowick, obviously, for 2 years, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that the Jags win the AFC South. We'll have to look up the odds there on DraftKings, not a sponsor, but again, DraftKings, hit us up. You know where we are. But yeah, I'm gonna
This
pick.
must be
I'm
the
gonna pick
5th
the
time
Texans.
we've asked DraftKings to sponsor.
And they haven't said no yet, so they must still be considering it.
So I just want to get back to Matt's obsession with Tony Khan and the Jaguars. I just want to know what's going on here. Like, what
He
do you
likes
like
them,
about?
bro. He
No,
likes
no,
them.
I get it, but I'm not going to let him slide with that. I want to know why he's wearing a teal shirt and telling me the Jaguars are going to win the division.
The teal shirt is a bit of a coincidence. But
Okay,
I don't know.
interesting.
Sure.
I just kind of like the Jags. We know how I feel about Trevor. I mean, I think
First
some
name
real
basis
coaching.
too, Ryan. You see this?
Yeah.
Some real coaching. Brian Thomas ascends. Travis Hunter's a stud on both sides of the ball. They've got bodies on their D-line. Josh Hines-Allen is a good player. The dude they took out of Georgia, Trayvon Walker, he's been improving the last few years. And again, this is the AFC South. I don't think the Jags are going to make a bunch of noise, go to the Super Bowl. I just think they're going to be improved, and I think the Texans could be a little stagnant. We shall see.
Matt, can you give us just one Duval?
Pretty good, huh? So yeah, give me the Jags.
Matt, can I get your June 5th thoughts? Can I get your June 5th thoughts about Trevor Lawrence?
Same as it ever was,
I mean,
bro.
Yeah.
Ready to
what more do we have
break
to
out.
say?
Ready to break out. Year 6. We'll see how it goes.
What do you think he's going to do?
Finish 3rd in MVP voting. Throw for 4,300 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 9 picks, 6 lost fumbles. Shout out to Trevor. All right, our next part of our question, we will not include Trevor for this one, I don't think, but it's your list. They want our top 3 quarterbacks, but they want top 3 AFC and top 3 NFC. I'm going to go first on this one. We're going to do AFC first. Super easy. Number 1 is Mahomes. Number 2 is Josh Allen. Number 3 is Joe Burrow. Ryan, on to you. Top 3 AFC quarterbacks.
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Next question. Mahomes will be in my top 3 when he plays like it.
We are going
Next
to get
question.
canceled from this podcast.
Next question. He has not played up to snuff these past couple of years. It just hasn't happened. Next question. I'm not scared
Ryan,
to say it.
Are we? Do we want to do this? We're 55 minutes in. I don't even think we have time for this. We're gonna put this.
Matt,
you know
I'm
what,
going to ask
Ryan?
you an honest question. Matt, let me ask you a
Yes.
question. Did
Ask me a
Mahomes
question.
play better last year than Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
Yes, he made the Super
No,
Bowl.
he didn't.
Yes.
Yes, he went to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
His third one in a row.
Yes.
All right, bro.
Yes.
Next question. Go ahead. Keep going. We'll get into this another day. I promise.
We're gonna make this a full segment next week. Ryan does not think Patrick Mahomes is a top 3 QB in the AFC.
I can't wait.
Tune in next week.
Sit...
We don't have time to dignify that with a response right now.
No. How about for the segment, Ryan can... Yeah. I just want to say, how about for the segment, Ryan puts his webcam on his wall and just argues with it? Because I'm not going to be here for that.
Should I do it now?
I'll get into some Skip Bayless, Stephen A. stuff with Ryan. We're on top 3 quarterbacks in the AFC. Let's hear them.
I'm right there with you, Matt, because Lamar Jackson will never be in my top 3. So
we know.
I love Lamar. If Lamar was in the NFC, he would be the number 1 QB in the NFC with an absolute bullet. But yeah, victim of circumstance. Those 3 guys are in a tier by themselves to me. NFC is a little bit tougher. And since I think both of you are a little homerish, I want to start with you. Moran, top 3 NFC QBs. We're doing this like as you have one season. So don't take age into account. Don't take anything. You're trying to win in 2025. Top 3 QBs in the NFC. Go.
Okay. So this is going to surprise you a little bit. But I'm going to tell you about first who I'm excluding from my top 3. Because I know Ryan's going to get very hurt by it. But Jalen Hurts is not in my top 3.
Crazy.
Okay?
If you just tell us your top 3, we'll know who you're excluding.
That's way easier than naming 10 other guys.
Oh, man.
I'm also excluding Sam Darnold of the Seahawks.
So, I'm going to do Matt Stafford. Even though I don't know the hype in Matt Stafford, it's just a very weak NFC class. I don't think there's a top 3, man. I really don't.
Just spit it out. What are your top 3? What are you scared to say?
Saying, no, it's not that. I just think there's so many guys that are
Let me just ask the real question. Is Jordan Love in your top 3 or not, bro?
Yes. Yes, he is.
So
yes, he is.
It's on record that Moran thinks Jordan Love is better than Jalen Hurts.
Oh, that's 100%.
Oh, my.
That's
and you guys think I'm ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, without a question.
All right, so Stafford, Jordan Love, and who?
No, Stafford, Jaden Daniels, and Jordan Love are my top 3.
Matt,
Ryan,
your turn. Oh, you want me to go?
I'm with Moran on Stafford. Stafford is without a doubt for me a top 3 NFC QB. While Jalen Hurts is not a perfect player, coming off of a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP and how well he played, he deserves to be there for me. So Jalen Hurts makes my top 3. My third spot is a toss-up between Baker, Mayfield, and Jaden Daniels. For the sake of this, I'm going to go Jaden Daniels, even though I love Baker, because he just played awesome last year and his floor feels so high and his ceiling feels obviously much higher. So for me, we'll go Stafford, Hurts, Jaden Daniels. I don't know about the order, but those are my top 3 with Baker as an honorable mention, just like Lamar would have been in the AFC.
Can I just bring something up with Jalen Hurts real quick? You guys have both on this show said it multiple times. When we talked about the tush push, you guys said that the Eagles are so good at doing it, it doesn't matter who's on that line for the tush push. Can I get confirmation that you guys said that?
Yeah.
I don't.
They lost Jason Kelce and they still did it. So yeah,
I'll
stand behind that. I'll stand behind that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So a guy that had 18 passing touchdowns and 5 interceptions is supposed to be my top 3 quarterback in a conference. Why? Because
I don't
he got
care
14...
about that.
What do you care about then?
Wins.
Wait, I'm going to point out some hypocrisy. Moran just got mad at me for not putting Mahomes in my top 3 because he wins. And yet, Jalen Hurts just beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And he doesn't get on your top 3 ahead of Jordan Love?
Ryan, first of all,
That's ridiculous, Matt.
First of all, you're talking about a guy that has been in multiple Super Bowls and has multiple Super Bowl wins. He doesn't have 14 or 16 or 17 or whatever it is 1-yard touchdown rushes.
Okay, like Jalen Hurts has made a Super Bowl and lost and won one. So where's Jordan Love rank with that?
I think there's several quarterbacks that you can put on Philly that would do the same thing. That's how I judge quarterbacks. I think if Brock Purdy was on the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl. I think if Matt Stafford was on the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl.
On next week's episode, Jordan Love tries the tush push and gets thrown back 5 yards. Like, what are we talking about, bro? What are we doing?
I think a quarterback that has 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions is not going to make my list. That's how I feel.
Moran, his passing touchdowns are not going to be high when his rushing touchdowns lead the NFL.
Yeah. And when you have a play that's borderline illegal, it's not impressive.
What?
Borderline illegal. What a Packers fan thing to say.
No, we stopped the tush push. I'm not worried about it. I can't wait to play them again.
Well, you were the team pushing for it to be banned the most, so I don't know if you're not worried about it. Yeah. But that's crazy, bro. I think Jalen Hurts gets so much disrespect, and he finally wins his ring, and he continues to be disrespected. I don't understand it. Yeah, he's got a great line, he's got a great roster, whatever, but he's a large part of their success, and he does not get enough credit for it. It's baffling.
Yeah, so the year before that, he had 23 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. This year, he had 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I call that a game manager. But hey, maybe I'm crazy.
Let's keep going, bro.
That's fine.
Did I get my top 3 yet?
We need your top 3.
Okay, so you both left Jared Goff off the list, which is insane that Baker Mayfield gets an honorable mention and Goff's not even a part of your answer. 112 quarterback rating, almost 40 touchdowns, I know. So Goff's my pick for that, along with Matthew Stafford and Jalen Hurts. We're just gonna give respect where it's due.
Goff is number 1?
Oh, you can rank him however you want. He's number 1 in my heart.
That's not what I asked you. Is he number 1?
Jared Goff. Stay with me, Ron. Jared Goff.
I think he wears number 16.
Ryan, quit playing games. Is he number 1?
In the conference?
I'm asking you the damn question.
No, I can't say that right now because he hasn't won. I too respect wins. I can't give him that credit when he hasn't won anything. Stafford and Hurts both won a ring. I'm not going to put him ahead of him.
So he's 3rd?
Sure, if that's how you want to word it.
Right. I'm asking you the question, brother.
Bro, I said sure. What do you? Is it
sure or yes? Are you confident? Because you sound like you're fence riding.
We under oath here.
Honestly, what's going on? Yeah, bro. I'd rather. Yeah, he's behind Hurts and Stafford right now. Yes, sure.
Wow, he throws sure in again. Why do you fumble your words?
You want to fight me or something?
Just say Jared Goff is the number 3 quarterback in the NFC. Say it.
Right. You know what I will say? That Jordan Love belongs nowhere on this list.
It. Okay, no conviction. Stop it.
Whatever, man.
Cut it out.
We'll see how he does with his new coordinator, but he's on that list.
That was a fun segment. Thank you so much for the question.
Who asked that question? Was it Brendan?
I had a feeling that would be a lightning rod question. That was extra B for the extra with the extra underscores.
Shout out to Brendan. You hear him every intro and outro on the podcast. Shout out to you, Bray.
You sure do.
Let's go, Brendan. You're the man. Let us know, Brendan, who your top 3 AFC and NFC quarterbacks are. And if you leave Mahomes off there, we're going to block you. I'm kidding. We won't block you. We love you for that. All right, we got to get out of here, boys. But extra credit. What is your favorite moment or play of any team, any sport? I need your answer in under 10 seconds. Mine is Game 2, 2005 World Series, bottom of the 7th inning, Sox down 2, Paul Konerko grand slam to left field. Ryan, go.
I've talked about mine before. It's Magglio Ordonez. Homer to send us to the World Series was the best sports moment of my life until the Lions won that playoff game. Shout out to Matto. Also a day one for asking that extra credit question. Love you.
Moran?
Mine is Ryan saying that Mahomes isn't top 3.
That's fine. That's fine.
That was a hell of a moment, I will say.
It was a great moment. We might clip it. tune into the Instagram and the YouTube to check that out later this week.
That's gonna do some numbies. All right,
sure.
guys, as always, thanks so much for listening. Follow us on Twitter at Honolulu Cheese. Same thing on Instagram at Honolulu Cheese. If you're on the YouTube, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment, subscribe. That helps us out a ton to Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I'm at Chung Diesel on X, the everything app. Moran is at Miro.Hosen, I think. Right, Moran? What are you at, bro?
Ron doesn't know his handle, bro.
It's M.Hasen.
M.Hasen for the Hossers. And Ryan, he just runs all of our social media. Guy doesn't have his own X. He doesn't have any time. He's too
But get at me on Reddit at Honolulu Cheese.
Yeah, but hit him on the Reddit. The guy wants to talk ball. He's begging to talk ball. Thank you guys as always for listening. Tune in next week when we break down Ryan's Mahomes is not a top 3 QB argument. We're going to give that some real oxygen. Let Ryan come and plead his case, and then probably just kick him off the show maybe, but we'll see. But boys, let's get out of here. Sorry we were late this week. That was me with my work travel, so let's get on out of here.
It's all good. And as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue.
And your head stay cheesy. Mahomes at 4.
Duh, Bears. Thanks, guys.
Bye.